we live?
Yay, Candace is here. Yay!
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I know. Today I just put it out there and she's like, I'm in.
Listen, I'm only here because my entire family has the flu, so.
Hey, we'll take it, right?
I want to hang out with all the sick people tonight now.
So she wants to hang out with us. We're better than sick people, Mike.
Better than kids who have the flu. Absolutely. Oh, how funny.
So thank you for coming on out. I mean, last week we had Scott McMillan from the Wellness Center.
Yes.
It's, you know.
You've been having some all-star.
Well, yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Guests.
We're going to get rid of hi, Andy.
Oh, hi, Andy. I hope you feel better. The flu is no fun.
It's not fun. No, it is not. But, you know, hey. And we got cookies. Who brought the Valentine's Day cookies? Oh, they're from Pizza Joe's?
Okay.
I didn't know Pizza Joe's actually made cookies.
Me either.
Nice.
Maybe they're pizza dough with some frosting on it. Maybe.
They might be. So, Mike's a little bummed though because he's a Steelers fan and they lost.
Oh, listen, I feel you. I'm sad about that. Well, my husband's a Cowboys fan, so that was also heartbreaking. Someone said something like, it's one thing to be a Browns fan and expect the disappointment. It's another thing for your team to make the playoffs and have your heart ripped out year after year after year. So, I feel you.
Yeah, so, you know, what are you going to do? So he's a Falcons fan because...
Okay.
Because what did you say, Mike?
Because they're not the Patriots.
I hate the Patriots. I think that's what Mike said, right? He's so nice. Like, he could never say anything mean.
Right? I also have that problem. We need to be meaner. That should have been my New Year's resolution.
To be meaner?
Yes.
There you go. There you go. Be tough.
Yes.
Be tough. So, but yeah. Well, I'm so glad you came on out tonight. We have so much fun when you do this.
I always have a blast when I come out here. Thank you for having me.
And Candace has been on the Louis B. Free show just last week.
Yes.
You've been on probably a dozen times, right, over the course of...
Probably, yes.
So...
Yes, I talk a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Tell our listeners though what you're doing and what your program is.
Okay, well the reason I went on the Louis B. Free show is we are trying to build Mahoning County's, actually this area's very first special needs playgrounds.
Cool.
There's a plot of land in Canfield that has already been donated. It's on Route 46 between Leffingwell and Western Reserve. And we are trying to raise money. There's a fundraiser coming up February 16th at St. Michael's Church in Canfield.
Awesome.
We're trying to raise the money to build handicap accessible trails that connect to the bike trail. Special needs playground, not just for kids with special needs.
Now, how does a handicap trail change any different from?
It's a lot wider.
Wider,
A lot
okay.
wider, yes.
Okay.
And as well as all of the playground equipment will be handicap accessible. Most of the swings you can actually put a wheelchair on.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, because most places, like if you have a child with special needs or handicap, like if you go to Boardman Park, like they just have to sit there and watch everybody else play. Like there's literally nothing for them to do.
Right.
And I can't even remember like the last time like a new park was built.
Yeah.
Other than the one like Rocky Ridge in Youngstown, but it's not really handicap accessible either.
Right.
So it's really exciting.
How much more expensive is it to do a handicap accessible park versus the budget for a regular park?
I think they're just all really expensive.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of money that needs to be raised because it's just land, so there's no trails, there's no base,
so you're starting from ground, you're starting from grass and trees
exciting.
And bushes.
Yeah,
that's very
exciting.
cool.
And they're doing it in phases, and we have a lot of support, and I'm really excited.
Do you get like an architectural firm to lay out the land for you and everything?
We're open.
Nice.
We're still in like the beginning stages.
Oh.
Like we've raised some funds and we've got some things approved and rolling. And actually, Gretchen is going on the Louis Free Show tomorrow to talk more about it. We're going on like every week until the fundraiser. And
oh, nice.
We're going to be annoying Facebook the entire year for the
program.
program.
And how can you listen to, because Louis B. Free is a local personality here, and he does a local talk show every day. What time is it on?
They're going on tomorrow at 10 a.m. He's going to be on Facebook Live, and then they do piggyback on 88.5, I believe, too.
Oh, okay.
The YSU station.
Okay. So
Vindicator, if you go on the Vindicator's website,
you can also get it. So they're always so you can listen to what he's talking about, and he does do a lot of local. We do Cycle for a Cure every year, and you guys go down and do that.
May 7th, baby.
Yeah, I know, May 7th. We put it out there today.
I know, I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, it's coming so soon.
Oh my gosh, I know. It'll be here before you know it.
Right?
Seriously.
It's fun, though. It's a good time.
It is a lot of fun.
So fun.
All right, well, today is Tuesday. It's January 24th, year 2017, and we are reading live from the Tribune Chronicle and the Youngstown Vindicator. And do you want to lean off today? We're going to try. What's our goal for today?
Our goal is to not read any stories that have any political influence whatsoever.
Right.
So,
and if there is we'll comment about everything.
Yes.
But if we do a story that is political in nature, we're just going to go to the next
yes.
one.
And I also wanted to try and read things that were like cheery and positive, but that I don't think is possible.
Oh, dream on. I mean, yeah, you're looking for butterflies and rainbows
man.
at that point.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I can start.
Okay.
It's not a cheery positive story. Several were arrested on gun charges over the weekend. 3 people arrested on gun charges over the weekend were arraigned Monday in municipal court. DeAndre Fant, 29, of Detroit Avenue, was arrested after police found a pistol and a clip of ammunition under the seat in a car he was a passenger in that was pulled over about 7:55 p.m. Sunday at Wick and Madison Avenue. 2 women, Jalesia Green, 20, of Todd Lane, and the driver, Tamika Croft, 24, of Blacklick, were each arrested on drug charges after police found 2 doses of suspected heroin, a bag of suspected cocaine, and 15 bags of suspected marijuana. Reports said when police went to the car, they saw Green, who was in the front passenger seat, throw a bag out of the window. Police found the bag and later found it had heroin in it. Croft did not have a valid license, so the car was searched, which was when the drugs and guns were found. Police also found $1,237 in cash in the car. Green was charged with trafficking in marijuana.
Do another one, because I'm playing around here.
Let's see. Oh, I'm trying to find something cheery, but anyway. In Boardman, teen arrested at theater accused of making threats. Boardman, a Liberty teenager, is charged with inducing a panic and other charges after police said she threatened to shoot people at a movie theater over the weekend. Police arrived at Cinemark Tinseltown, USA on Market Street at 11:30 p.m. Saturday after a call about a young woman with no weapon threatening to shoot everyone, according to police. What is wrong with people, Scott?
Yeah.
Seriously. According to police report, officers approached the girl, later identified as Corinne Wilson, 17, of Sampson Drive, and asked her to surrender. She refused, and police said she attempted to flee into one of the theaters. Smart criminal. Police caught and detained her before she escaped. While detained, Wilson continued shouting profanities and threats while fighting the officers. I'm sure I'll see her. I'll Snapchat her. The theater manager told police he and an employee asked Wilson to leave after they received complaints of her being loud, and she became enraged, demanding a refund. When they denied her refund request, she began threatening to shoot people. Wilson is also charged with resisting arrest, aggravated menacing, obstructing official business, and assault of a police officer. She was taken to the Martin P. Joyce Juvenile Justice Center in Youngstown.
Wow.
Seriously.
From Warren, attorneys in the case against a Cortland man charged with the February 27, 2016 fatal hit and run in Fowler have moved the date of his jury trial to May 15. Russell Lauer III of State Route 5 waived his right to a speedy trial for a second time Monday before Trumbull County Common Pleas Judge Peter J. Contos. The action postponed a scheduled February 6th jury trial for Lauer, who remains in custody in the Trumbull County Jail in lieu of a $215,000 bond. Last September, attorneys had moved Lauer's trial from September 25th. Lauer is charged with aggravated vehicular homicide, failure to stop after an accident, operating a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and not driving in marked lanes. Authorities say Lauer is charged with causing the death of 27-year-old Brittany Swedko of Cortland, who was struck by a white SUV as she jogged on February 27th around the noon hour on Ridge Road in Fowler. The latest delay came when Lauer hired a new attorney, J. Gerald Ingram, who is replacing public defender Brendan Keating. Ingram said he will need some time to prepare for the trial as well as a suppression hearing, also scheduled for, and I got to flip the page to give you this story. For Contos' court on May 15th. Defense attorneys are questioning Lauer's toxicology report from the data of the accident. Blood results from the Ohio State Highway Patrol crime lab show Lauer to have a blood alcohol reading of .077, which is slightly below
the legal limit, yep.
Yeah. However, the toxicology report also showed Lauer to have a 51.6 nanogram milliliter of oxycodone.
Ooh.
That's a lot?
That's a lot.
Okay. A prescription opioid used for pain relief. In his system at the time, the patrol trooper said the driver appeared to be drunk. So if you would have that much oxycodone, would you have the same kind of features as being drunk.
So if you or I were probably to take that, we would be a puddle on the floor. We
Really?
wouldn't be able to army crawl. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, she was obviously a seasoned professional.
Him. No, it's Lauer. Yeah,
Lauer.
The driver.
Yeah.
Defendants in Ohio have the right to a trial within 90 days of incarceration, so that's why Lauer had to waive that right in court again on Monday. Lauer was indicted on April 27th by a grand jury exactly 2 months after Swedko was struck by a white SUV, which the patrol said veered off the roadway. Swedko, who was training in a half marathon at the time of the accident, died of head injuries on March 1st at St. Elizabeth Youngstown Hospital. Authorities say Lauer drove away after the accident was followed by witnesses who used their vehicle to block him from escaping and kept him at bay until Fowler police officers arrived to detain him. Investigators said a search of Lauer's vehicle 2 days later after the accident turned up purple fibers matching the clothing Swedko was wearing when she was struck as she was walking or running on the roadway. A graduate of Lakeview High School and Youngstown State University, Swedko was a public relations assistant at the main branch of the Warren Trumbull County Public Library. Wow.
That was my stomping ground. I grew up in Fowler.
Oh, yeah?
Really sad.
Yeah. And you also are training for another marathon.
Yes, and I know that lots of people don't pass you with, like, ample room.
So you
either
have...
on foot or on bicycle.
Yes, Candace is a bicyclist, and she also... does the running. So,
yes, I pretend to be a runner sometimes.
You ran a marathon.
I know.
There is no such thing as pretending.
You know what's funny, though? As much as I ran and I've done it and stuff, like, I still don't consider I'm a cyclist. If you ask me what my athletic ability is, I'm a cyclist. I'm a spin instructor. But running, it just doesn't come easy.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
I feel you. I feel you at all. I totally.
I try. Sometimes I struggle and fail, but I try.
Nice. What else is going on?
Well, 2 face charges regarding a boy, 4 years old. Jenna R. Nobbs, 30, of Churchill Hubbard Road in Liberty, pleaded not guilty Monday to charges of felonious assault and child endangering, accused of causing serious bruising on the body of a boy, 4, in her care last spring. Nobbs was indicted secretly in Trumbull County Common Pleas Court on the charges, which could carry more than 10 years in prison if she's convicted. She remains in the Trumbull County Jail in lieu of $20,000 bond. Her boyfriend, Ronald D. Newell, 41, of the same address, was charged with misdemeanor child endangering in the case and was arraigned Friday in Girard Municipal Court. His charge accuses him of failing to protect the child from the assaults the child suffered at the hands of Nobbs. Newell was released from the jail after posting $7,500 bond. Police said Newell took the victim to a woman's house for a visit in May, and the woman called police saying the boy had excessive bruising. Because the child's mother is in prison, the child was living with Newell, who is his father, the woman said. Nobbs is Newell's girlfriend. When the boy was examined, authorities discovered the boy had severe bruising on one arm, as if someone had grabbed the arm tightly and squeezed it, police said. The boy was having trouble moving his arm. He also had abrasions on his chin and bruisings on the top of his ears, other arm, buttocks, and legs. The boy was taken to Akron Children's Hospital in Boardman for treatment, and Trumbull County Children's Services took custody.
Wow. Well, some good news from Vienna. About 60 deployed citizen air personnel of the 910th Airlift Wing returned home Monday at the Youngstown Air Reserve Station. The reservists are the last of more than 170 returning from a 120-day deployment to an operating location in Southwest Asia in support of the U.S. Central Command operations. The first wave returned to the Vienna station last Wednesday. The deployed service members provided support to airlift operations to various military installations throughout the Middle East. During their overseas tour of duty, the personnel and aircraft completed 1,374 flying hours during the course of more than 330 missions, according to Sergeant Bob Barco. He's the public affairs officer for the 910th Airlift Wing. During these missions, they flew 684 sorties, and the air crews moved more than 3,985 passengers. They hauled 2,231 tons of cargo and transported 151 patients with a 99% mission effectiveness rate. So,
that's cool.
Very cool. They did a nice job and came home. So
awesome.
Welcome back home to all those reservists. Yeah, good news.
All right, Niles City Council begins to replace policies. City Council has begun rescinding and replacing policies instituted by former Mayor Ralph Infant that members describe as ambiguous and inconsistent. In a special meeting Monday, Council unanimously approved a veteran employment policy and gave first reading to an ordinance that will make overtime pay consistent for several non-union positions. Infant was indicted last year on more than 50 counts, including bribery and theft in office. Several council members said the policy changes are related to the investigation. Councilman Steve Paplis, Democrat at large, said the ex-mayor had enacted his own retire-rehire policy without the authority of the council. We never voted on this policy when he was mayor, said Papoulis. He never presented any legislation to us. Papoulis said state auditors have been encouraging Mayor Thomas Scarnecchia and council to change the policy since December. Scarnecchia said he is closing the door to future hiring of retired city employees, while current rehired workers will keep their jobs. We will no longer have rehires for as long as I'm here, the mayor said. According to the legislation, City Hall retirees who are rehired have to be paid according to the city's authorized strength ordinance and must pay 100% of their health care premiums. That was not the case for some retirees who were rehired under Ann Fant, according to Robert Marino, council president. The city paid part of the health care premiums for some of them, while others had to pay the full amount, Marino said. The new ordinance limits overtime pay to 1 1/2 times the hourly rate for each position. Papoulis said that under Infant, some supervisors received more than that percentage. Two members of council, Frank Pisano and Steve Menkowitz, abstained from voting because of family members who are employed by the city and would be impacted by the revised overtime ordinance. Council plans to approve the second reading today and the third final reading of the ordinance on Wednesday.
Wow. From Warwick, Rhode Island, although it's not local, this is a sad story. 7 people were buried in wrong graves at a veteran cemetery.
That's sad.
7 people were buried in the wrong graves at a veteran cemetery because grave markers in one row were off by a burial plot. Veterans Affairs Director Kazim Yarn apologized Monday for the grave mix-up. We recognize our cemetery as hallowed ground, and we did not meet our obligation to our veterans, their loved ones who are buried here, or the families of the veterans who continue to come to our cemetery and pay their respects, he said in his office in Warwick. Rhode Island's Veterans Memorial Cemetery workers left 2 spaces instead of 1 to transfer the remains of a veteran's father in November of 2010. The extra space wasn't accounted for when the permanent grave markers were added in the spring. Consequently, 21 grave markers were off. 7 internments occurred in that row since 2010, resulting in the cemetery vault being buried in adjacent plots. The dead people and their markers were moved this past weekend, and families were being contacted. Yarn said he was alerted to the issue on Thursday after the grounds crew at the Exeter Cemetery discovered the issues and prepared for a burial the following day. So it is sad, but it's only off 1,
Right.
and you were still in the presence of your loved one. You just were
Absolutely.
slightly.
Look at you being all positive.
You know, hey, you got to be a little bit positive.
You do. With
Do
the
you
news today,
do you visit cemetery? Like, do you visit your loved ones in cemeteries?
I visit my father, who's buried in Stevens Cemetery in Niles.
Okay.
Probably like 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, my dad's
That's
buried.
like the only, and there is a cemetery by my house that's like from the 1800s by the park that I take my dogs to, and my son and I kind of play hide and seek, like behind the big giant gravestones, which is probably kind of creepy, but we have fun.
Oh, that's nice though. But
But the tombstones are like from the 1800s. It's like
They are
sandbar.
fascinating,
It's like all
though.
like the big Youngstown.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that is very cool. Yeah, I mean, my dad. I mean, when I go home, I don't always stop. You know, and it is on my way to and from. But even my mom doesn't go that much. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I usually go like right around like between like my birthday and his birthday.
do you put flowers out when you go? Do you?
I do.
Okay.
And then this year my mom wanted to go at Christmas, so we went at Christmas
Yeah.
and stuff. And like I don't know, I like to take something out in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend, they actually, because they had the tombstones and everything, they actually had a bench put in, and they go every day and sit at the bench and talk, which I think is fine. I mean, it's certainly their choice to do so, but they have a bench out there.
I
Yeah.
kind of have conversations with like those that are no longer with us, like on my runs and my ride. You know what I mean?
Do you really?
I know that might sound kind of weird, but yeah, I do absolutely. Like I talk to my dad like on my runs
When you run?
all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I truly think like he communicates with me like through like the songs that come up on my playlist.
So when you're running, do you think about your whole life and everything? Is that a time of introspection?
You never know where your thoughts going to go
Oh,
on
really?
the run. Yeah, most of the time you're like hoping like you're not thinking of like pain that's currently happening while you're running.
Oh,
around.
gotcha.
But yeah, I definitely think of like either like my greatest idea or like my worst decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you never know what you're gonna think. I think you should get a bicycle and do Buckeye Breakaway, and then you can tell me what you think of when we're training.
Buckeye Breakaway.
Buckeye Breakaway.
Yeah, there we go. 75 or what is
You
it?
choose.
Yeah.
You could do 75.
There's like a
Thursday.
30 one this year, I think, too. I think I saw.
Well, you stop like every like 25 miles.
Yeah.
So like if you do 25 miles and you're like, this is not for me, I hate it, it sucks. Like they'll take you in a van and they'll take you to, we go from Brunswick to Ashland.
Yeah.
And they'll take you to the party.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
beer
the
and
party.
food
I'm
and-
into the party. There we go.
You should just come to the party.
You know what I mean? Because usually I'm away this year, but this year I will not be. So it may work out, and I will participate
like
in
putting
some.
people on the spot for Buckeye Breakaway.
I know.
Like I told, like Susan Calvin said that she would ride if we'd find her a bike, and I'm going to see if we can
You find her a bike.
Dave Harris's old Schwinn.
Oh,
It'll fit her.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
like,
you
shouldn't
would
make
think-
promises like that in front of me because
Right.
I'll find you a bike.
Between the people we know, I'm sure you could probably find a bike.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Susan, you're riding.
and
You're
to be
riding.
honest, like I have a friend who has a couple bikes out there. Like I could get a bike.
Missy, did you hear that? Scott has a friend with bikes.
I do.
It's on Facebook Live. You're held accountable.
Seriously. But yeah, we'll see. What else is going on?
Oh man, nothing good, man.
I know.
All right, how about Hauser was given a $35,000 bond on charges for the fourth time since he was spared a possible death sentence. Jamar Hauser has been arrested. Hauser, only 25, of West Dellison Avenue, was arraigned in municipal court Monday on charges of being a felon in possession of a firearm, carrying a concealed weapon, possession of heroin, and possession of cocaine. Magistrate Anthony Sertic set his bond at $35,000. He was arrested about 8:30 p.m. Saturday during a traffic stop on the south side after a car he was a passenger in was pulled over for running a red light. Reports said officers were granted permission to search the car, and when they did, they found a handgun hidden under a cup holder and some ammunition nearby, as well as 7 bags of suspected crack cocaine and 4 bags of suspected heroin. Hauser had been charged in the January 2010 death of Angeline Fiminari, 80, of Sheridan Road in the parking lot of the St. Dominic Church on the south side, and could have faced the death penalty if convicted. In May 2012, however, those charges were dropped after a palm print found at the crime scene was matched to another person who had been shot and killed after Fiminari's slaying. Hauser was released from the Mahoning County Jail in 2012 after the new evidence was discovered. He was awaiting trial in common pleas court when he was released. Hauser had misdemeanor arrests in April and September of 2014 involving aggravated menacing and domestic violence, respectively. Hauser was charged with a felony after he was arrested in July 2014 in the 3000 block of Hudson Avenue after police were called to investigate a Southside report that Hauser was firing shots at someone from a car. A handgun was found in the driver's seat of the car Hauser was driving, the report said. He was sentenced to 9 months in prison in April 2015 in that case. Court records show. He could face a probation violation in that case for his latest arrest.
Wow.
Crazy.
From Warren, a Girard man was given probation money in a case involving a series of harassing texts sent to police officers. Lawrence Molick, who's 49 years old and of East Liberty Street, appeared before Trumbull County Common Pleas Judge Peter J. Contos, who ordered the defendant not to have any contact with Girard Police Captain John Norman as part of the terms of probation. On November 28th, Molick pleaded guilty to felony telecommunications harassment and misdemeanor menacing by stalking charges. According to police reports, one of Molick's texts stated he wished officers had been gunned down.
Wow, that's a pretty bold statement there.
Seriously. Norman claimed Molick was unhappy after a case he asked officers to investigate did not turn out the way he wanted.
Go figure.
Yeah. You didn't do things the way I wanted, so, you know. Wow. For more, a 30-year-old man was found dead of a suspected drug overdose about 11 a.m. on Sunday at the Hamilton Street Southwest, according to a police report. Carl Brummer was lying on a bathroom floor, the report states. A syringe with an unidentified liquid was discovered in the sink. The report states the syringe was taken into evidence. Wow.
Defense seeks dismissal of murder case. Youngstown, a man whose aggravated murder trial earlier this month ended in a mistrial due to an uncooperative witness, has asked for dismissal of the charges against him on the basis a retrial would subject him to unconstitutional double jeopardy. The dismissal motion was filed Monday on behalf of Camanio Hodges, 20, of Auburndale Avenue, by his defense lawyer, Anthony P. Moranto. Hodges is charged with aggravated murder with a firearm specification in the February 2016 shooting death of Jason Fonseca and with being a felon with a gun. Since the trial was halted after a jury had been sworn in, Moranto said a retrial would violate the prohibition against double jeopardy in the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Visiting Judge H.F. Inderlead, Jr. granted Moranto's request to strike from the record the testimony of a key prosecution witness who refused to answer questions under Moranto's cross-examination and to declare a mistrial. Judge Inderlead, however, declined to rule on the double jeopardy issue. Monday's dismissal motion from the defense is now before Judge John M. Durkin of Mahoning County Common Pleas Court. Prosecutors said they didn't think double jeopardy applies because the trial was halted because the witness was uncooperative and not by their own actions. The prosecution dismissed the case against co-defendant Angel Lee Bell, 20, of Choice Court, who faced the same aggravated murder charges as Hodges, plus an obstructing justice charge, with the agreement she must testify against Hodges if he's retried. Prosecutors said Fonseca, 20, was fatally shot in front of his East Side home because he and Bell, who once dated, had shared a car, but Bell wrecked the car and Fonseca took it back. Prosecutors said Bell threatened Fonseca, then took Hodges with her to Fonseca's Ayers Street home, where a witness saw Hodges shoot Fonseca 9 times.
Wow.
9. Moranto told jurors the gunshot wounds Fonseca suffered support Hodges' self-defense claim because they show Hodges and Fonseca struggled. This month's mistrial came after jurors were called from selection in November, but sent home after a prosecution witness fled from the U.S. Marshals.
Wow.
So every day I'm thankful for people, places, and things I'm not.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, you're listening to the Youngstown Radio Reading Service. This is WYSU SCA here in Youngstown, Ohio, where if you go to A7, that is where we have court news. We've got marriage licenses, we've got divorces, and we've got dissolutions. These are from Trumbull County. In the marriage licenses department, we got Jonathan Hamilton. He's of London, the United Kingdom. And Shanika Brown, she's of Roberts Lane, Northeast and Warren.
We also have Thomas C. Jones II, 51, of 952 Center South Road, Leavittsburg, and Tina M. Higgins, 49, of 340 Ridge Road, Newton Falls.
Aaron Jones, 56, of Wick Street in Warren, and Verna Davis, 55, of Todd Avenue Southwest, also in Warren.
We have Jacob A. Waltermeyer, 27, address confidential, and Brittany A. Kimball, 24, of 1324 South Freedom Lane, Alliance.
Mark Bates, he's of State Route 88 in Bristolville, and Heidi Ulrich, she's of the same.
We have Larry Dean Russ, 64, of 811 Mahoning Avenue, Warren, and George Foy, 60, of same.
Evan McBride of Homewood Avenue, Warren, and Kimberly Steppich of County Line Road in Hubbard.
We have Alan S. McCarthy, 73, of 7859 First Street, Masury, and Sandra L. Galliano, 68, of 11 West Edison Avenue, Newcastle, PA.
Lee Babcock, he's 22 and of Randolph Street Northwest in Warren, and Karen Yale, she's of the same.
We have Richard J. Hodnicki Jr., 27, of 978 Jerry Drive, Hubbard, and Holly M. O'Brien, 27, of 2241 Hubbard, Masury Road, Hubbard.
Michael L. Laverty II, 38, of 7052 at Drake State Line Road in Berg Hill, and Brandy M. Erb, she's 35, and she's of the same.
And then we have John T. Grodeski Jr., 62, of 3357 Franklin Avenue, Hubbard, and Vicki S. Coxon, 54, of same.
All right, we're going to turn our attention over to dissolutions, which is over in the last column towards the bottom. Dissolutions asked include Brianne Gibson and Ryan Gibson.
Also asking for a dissolution are William Cunningham and Pauline Cunningham.
Patricia Yeager and Thomas Yeager.
Carrie A. Dowsett and Ryan V.D. Dowsett.
Mitchell L. Jackson and Elisa R. Jackson.
And we have Cassandra Hilson and Desmond Hilson Sr.
Looking at divorces asked, Michelle Mellison versus Gerald Mellison.
We have Frederick A. Moore Sr. versus Roberta Moore.
Roxanne Tayala versus Jeffrey Tayala.
And we have Daniel Bozo versus Teresa M. Bozo.
Janice Mowry versus David Mowry.
Victoria L. Marino versus Andrew J. Marino.
Christy Mateo Blanchard versus Todd Blanchard.
And Gabrielle Poley versus Melissa Poley.
All right, that's court news. We're now turning our attention to births. We're looking at St. Elizabeth Boardman Hospital. Matthew and Amy Yankel of Canfield. It's a correction. They had a boy on January 20th.
We have Tara Morgan of Girard. She had a boy on January 21st.
Zachary and Sarah Kolich of Canfield had a little girl on January 21st.
We had Nikitas and Evelyn Katsoukoris of Youngstown. They had a girl January 21st.
Chanel Yancey of Youngstown had a boy on January 21st.
Congratulations, Brandon and Katie Barnes, Rogers, girl, January 22nd.
Stephen and Melissa Stouffer of Youngstown celebrated a little boy on January 22nd.
All right, Robert and Sarah Kay of Girard had a girl January 22nd.
Maya Hudson of Youngstown had a girl on January 22nd.
We have Mark and Stephanie Chichansky, Youngstown, had a boy January 22nd.
Jennifer Coddington and Daryl Harris of East Liverpool had a boy on January 22nd.
And we have Mark and Bridget Russell of Youngstown had a little baby girl January 22nd.
Over at St. Joseph's Warren Hospital, Keona Jones and Marquise Green Sr. of Warren had a girl on January 18th.
We have Chiara and Rydell Duke Sr. of Youngstown had a girl January 20th.
Jennifer and Nicholas Stoyan of Cortland had a boy on January 20th.
Let's hear it for Taylor Fisher and Michael Thomas of Cortland had a boy January 22nd.
And Dean and Maureen Groover of Warren had a boy on January 22nd.
Awesome, lots of births.
That's, yeah, seriously.
More
so
births and divorce and dissolution.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we're 12 for 17. What 12 for 17 is? 12 mommies and daddies out of 17 have a last name that's the same, that's a really high number actually for for this that we're reading.
That's funny.
I know, I do that. I've done that for years I know people, and I've had people read with me and say, well, maybe it's their professional name, and I'm like, we're Youngstown. We're not, we're not Hollywood. Okay, we're going to turn our attention to selected local stocks, which is gotta figure it out here. Okay, it's on page A10. Yeah, these are selected local stocks as of 4 p.m. on Monday, not to be construed as a offer or recommendation to buy or sell any security. Alcoa Incorporated closed at $36.28. They're up 62 cents.
Aqua America closed at $29.53, down 12 cents.
Avalon Holdings $2.99. They're down 4 cents.
Chemical Bank $23.34, down 36 cents.
Community Health Systems closed at $6.43. They're down 14 cents.
Cortland Bank Corp closed $17.85, no change.
Yeah, or as Andy likes to say, level.
Level.
That good? Which, no, it's not. I mean, you want to go up. Stocks, you want to go up. Farmers National, but we get all woo-woo about the level. Farmers National, $21.61. They're up 37 cents.
First Energy closed $29.61, down 43 cents.
Fifth Third Bank, $26.50, up 21 cents.
First Merit Corporation closed $21.61.
First Now's Financial closed at $10.25. They are level. Woo woo.
FMB Corporation closed $15.03, and they're down 11 cents.
General Motors closed at $36.64. They're down 37 cents.
General Electric closed $29.76, down 77 cents.
Huntington Bank, $13.06, down 6 cents.
iHeartMedia Incorporated closed $1.15, down 7 cents.
JP Morgan Chase, $83.72. They're up 5 cents.
Key Corporation closed at $17.69, down 17 cents.
Lafarge, $17.57. Level. Woo woo.
Macy's. I heard Macy's was. Are they closing?
Macy's is having a tough time right now.
Well, they closed at $29.63, down 7 cents.
Yeah, Parker Hannifin, $142.49, down 3 cents.
PNC closed $116.93, down 42 cents.
Simon Property Group, $185.01, up 48 cents.
Stone Ridge closed $16.71, down 10 cents.
And United Community Financial, parent of Home Savings and Loan, closed at $8.13. They're up 3 cents.
All right.
Ohio has some of the lowest country's lowest gas prices. The work week begins. A gallon of regular gas in Ohio averaged $2.13 on Monday's survey from Ohio Club AAA, the Oil Price Information Service, and WEX Incorporated. That's 12 cents cheaper than a week ago, but much higher than a year ago when the average price of gas was $1.58. Wow. The national price per gallon average across the country was $2.31 on Monday. That's down a few pennies from a week ago, but higher than the averages of $2.27 a month ago and $1.84 at this time last year. The recent downward price trend might only be temporary. OPEC and key non-OPEC oil producers are reducing the amount of market in effort to raise the price of crude oil.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Shall I read more of the local?
You sure go for it.
All right. Family Night Series in Boardman. Southern Park Mall has kicked off its Family Dining Out Night Series, welcoming families to enjoy an evening of activities and specials and discounts from select food court tenants each month. Beginning from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. today, families can take advantage of free activities including balloon artists, games, crafts, and the chance to register for a Kid X Club membership. Attendees will also receive special offers and discounts from participating food court restaurants. Other upcoming family dining out nights will take place from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. February 21st and March 21st. For a complete list of special events and retailers at the Southern Park Mall, call 330-758-4511 or visit www.southernparkmall.com.
Okay, do you like the food court? Now, where does Garrett like to go? Garrett is such a cool little kid, too.
Garrett is the least picky child ever. He will eat anywhere, any place, anytime. He likes Subway. He likes McDonald's. He likes Eaton Park. You can take him to the upstairs, and he will chow down on a steak. I mean, he's...
Oh, really? So he's like, whatever.
Just like, whatever. Yeah. Just feed me.
Now, does he like to go out to eat? Or does he like to eat at home?
It depends. Like if he's like playing Minecraft or he's busy playing Pokemon,
right,
it's hard to get him to leave. But if we're out and he knows we can go somewhere, like if you say we go to Chuck E. Cheese, like he'll be like ready. Like
so, Chuck E. Cheese is the go-to.
Chuck E. Cheese is like probably his favorite
because of the games.
Because of the games,
yeah.
Not so much the food.
Yeah.
I would prefer not to eat out at all because it's
Do you
it's
watch what you
horrible.
eat?
Gosh, I try, but
Yeah.
working out's not my problem. I love to work
Right,
out, but who
right.
doesn't love to eat
Oh,
and
sure.
drink and be merry? Like I
Yeah.
could not have ate, drank, or been any more merry over the holidays. Like legit.
Oh, I know. I hear you. Yes, definitely a detox.
Do you like to eat out?
I don't. I do like to eat out. But I'm kind of a picky eater. Like, not super picky. Like, I can eat on my, like, as long as it's normal. Like,
Are you
I'm
one of
not.
those people like your food can't be touching.
No, not like that. But like if I go to somewhere like I don't like Indian food or
Okay.
like exotic foods. I'm not like I'm a meat and potatoes, meatloaf,
Okay.
spaghetti, pizza.
That's what Jim just texted me. What's for dinner? I'm like pot roast, mashed potatoes, gravy, noodles in crock pot.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
It's already done.
He didn't even smell that though.
He's
he's got
sick.
the- he's got the
I'm
flu
sure
thing.
he's.
But he's not. He must be feeling a little better if he's hungry.
He's hungry. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Must be. Gotta eat stuff.
Seriously. All right. Now, does Garrett what's his favorite food though? Like, Mom, will you, like, if it's his birthday or like it's a special treat, what will you make him?
Oh man, he loves pork chops.
Pork chops?
Or steak.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a big he's a steak and potatoes guy.
Oh, is he really?
Baked potato with like sour
Oh,
cream and
yeah,
cheddar cheese.
yeah.
That's him any day.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, turning back our attention to local news from Warren. A Warren man was sentenced Monday to 14 months in jail in a case involving a sexual contact with a 13-year-old girl. Wow. Marcus Hemingway of Dickey Street Northwest appeared before sentencing before Trumbull County Common Pleas Judge Peter J. Contos, who said he was giving a longer sentence than the one recommended by the Adult Probation Department. You were having sex with a 13-year-old when you should have been thinking about getting a job and starting your life, Contos said. The victim's mother had asked the judge to go easy on Hemingway. Wow. I am not going for that because what he did was illegal, the judge said. If he had committed the act just 7 months earlier, he would have been looking at a life sentence. Hemingway was 19 when accused of having sex with the teen on January 2nd, 2016 in Warren, police said. On November 16th, Hemingway had pleaded guilty to one count of having unlawful sexual contact with a minor. Contos also labeled Hemingway a Tier 2 sexual offender, which means he will have to register his home address, workplace, and school with the county and sheriff twice a year for the next 25 years. Wow.
I'm going to change it up a little bit.
All right.
Ribbon cutting event in Youngstown.
All right.
The Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber will have a ribbon cutting ceremony at coffeeprops.com at Pressed Coffee Bar and Eatery, 215 Lincoln Avenue at 9:30 a.m. today, so it already happened. Coffeeprops.com is a global online community of coffee enthusiasts, baristas, roasters, and lovers of all things highly caffeinated. I need to go. It offers select products curated for members review every few months. Like, sign me up right now. It also offers a vast and growing library of information available to only members. Content includes blogs, posts, videos, recipes, how-tos, online courses, illustrations, coffee shop locations, and new products. Do you love coffee?
I do love coffee. Are you a coffee, like are you into like Starbucks and like, oh, double latte, half calf, decaf, one splash this, all that stuff?
I'm going to say that I'm a lover of caffeine, whether it's coffee,
Uh-huh.
Advocare, Monster,
Are you really?
So I usually get coffee, I worked in Bourbon Court this morning, and I get all of my little deputies coffee, and there's this one deputy that doesn't drink coffee, and I said, are you human? Are you a robot?
Right,
How do you
right,
survive
right.
without caffeine? Do you drink pop and stuff?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I just don't drink it. I'm like, well, are you sleeping at 7 o'clock?
Wow.
I couldn't function without caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many cups of coffee do you have a day?
Well, caffeine, I probably drink,
So you do coffee in the morning and then
I
switch to
mix it up.
Monster drinks or the
I drink
Avocare.
my pre-workout on my way to spin class,
Uh-huh.
and it makes me feel like...
Somebody teaches spin class at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Right? I'm starting to get a little sleepy right now.
Right, serious. I was sleepy, and I don't
You
teach.
wake up early too.
I do wake,
though.
but I'm not teaching spin class at 5 o'clock
Yeah,
in the
but
morning.
You could.
I don't know. I've never done one of those early morning classes. If I had to, I probably could, but it'd be a one and done because And then now how far you're still what about 20 minutes, 15 minutes?
I can make it to your cycle in 12 minutes.
And probably oh my god. And how
No.
early do you get there ahead of time?
Well, I wake up at 5. I leave my house by quarter after. I
Uh-huh.
get there.
So you
right
roll
around
out of bed
5:30.
and pretty much roll out the door.
Yes.
Wow.
I think there's two types of people in the world. There are people that wake up right when their alarm goes off, and then there are people that hit snooze over
Yeah.
and over and over again. I can say I've probably hit snooze 5 times ever in my life.
I hear you. I'm like that too. I never hit snooze.
Never hit snooze.
But I need to kind of gradually go into my day. I
That's
get
what the
up
pre-workout's
and I
for.
make my no, that's not gradually working. No, hit the coffee pot, go on your computer, see the
No.
news, read articles, you know, maybe do a load of laundry or something.
You obviously don't have children.
No, I mean, but even if the kids, I'd be up with it. But like to be like out and working out.
I get my stuff and I like tiptoe down the hallway so I don't make a sound.
Yeah.
And like I get dressed and I tiptoe down the stairs and then like I'm in the car, have to crank the music up, drinking my pre-workout, like getting myself like in the right mindset, like some gangster rap, and it's pitch black.
You are into the gangster rap.
I am. I like all music.
Yeah.
And like I just learned, like I'm starting to get like I grew up in the country. I'm starting to like country again.
Okay.
And my friend Ashley, I said, Ashley, are there any swear words in country? And she had to look that up for me, and this is probably why I don't listen to country.
Because there isn't.
The only guy that swears is Kid Rock, and I love Kid Rock. But
and he's so, like, I mean, he's country now, but you know,
like
I mean,
country rock.
Yeah, and he certainly came into country later, and I, you know, and he certainly wasn't.
He's the only one that swears, so that's probably why I don't listen to much country. Yeah.
Because I heard, you know, I was flipping on and I don't listen to the country, but that picture with him and Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
Which first was 2003. Like, I'm like, that's 13 years ago. And I'm like, I haven't heard that song in forever. So I listened to it. But
there's no swear words in that one.
No, there isn't. There isn't. And there's not. Usually the songs I pick, there are not swear words in. And if I don't know and then I download it and there is, I'm shocked.
And some songs, like you, like Cake by the Ocean for a while, you couldn't get the clean version.
You could not.
And people were like, wow. And I guess that song's about something else, but I won't even go into it.
Aren't they always?
We'll Google it later.
Yeah, aren't they always?
Yes,
oh my gosh.
Unfortunately.
For more, a Liberty woman was arraigned Monday on felony charges linked with the beating of a 5-year-old child. Did you read this? Jenna Nobbs?
No. Oh, yeah, I did read that.
All right. How about this for Youngstown-based Smarts?
Yeah, that's Becky. Becky Keck.
Yeah, you know this lady, huh?
Becky.
Becky Keck.
I like Smarts.
So you know about the program, Students Motivated by the Arts?
I wish I knew more about it, but it's a great program.
Oh,
and
wow.
I know that she is a wonderful woman who organizes many, many things for it.
Well, she will receive the 2017 Governor's Award for Arts and Work in Arts Education. The Ohio Arts Council announced the honorees Monday, and the 9 recipients for this year were selected from more than 80 nominees.
Wow.
Becky Keck, She Smart's executive director, said, I think we've always taken a leadership role in the state of Ohio, and I think this just confirms what we've been doing behind the scenes. Smarts is a community-based art school that uses discipline and focus required for creating art to help students in the grades PK through 12 excel in all areas of life. Smarts and Keck have been involved in the implementation of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts Any Given Child program in the Warren City Schools, and Smart's involvement in programs that is one of the reasons cited by the OAC for honoring the organization. Barbara Shepard, she's director of the National Partnerships for the Kennedy Center, was among those who wrote the nominating letter on Smart's behalf. Seeing the support of local leaders, foundations, and the Kennedy Center, state organizations had made a difference, Keck said. Without the support of our partners, foundations and volunteers, this wouldn't have happened. Smarts was affiliated with YSU until the school withdrew financial support in late 2013 as a cost-cutting move and transitioned to becoming an independent program. Keck said being honored 3 years into that transition shows that they are on the right track. How did you find out?
I made you a bunny. See? Oh, you're
nice.
reading the news.
I'm a bunny. I'm such a bunny. Oh, that's funny.
I met Becky Keck through cycling. One of my very good friends. Well, she doesn't. She used to spin down at the Y, but one of my very good friends, Janice Janjanin, is one of her very good friends. So we do this ride out to Lake Milton, and her house is kind of on the way out there. So we would always stop, and she would always be baking like these amazing foods. And
so she hosted like a pit stop.
Yes, she was a pit stop. Yeah, but she's very, very cool. Another ribbon cutting is set in Poland. Are you still reading yours?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Are you still reading yours?
I got a little more, but you know.
Going. I thought you were.
All right. Becky hopes that the recognition can help Smarts meet its $750,000 goal needed to renovate and move into the Ohio One building in downtown Youngstown. So far, the organization has received $533,656 with $216,344 to reach the goal. Who wouldn't want to invest in Smarts since we are seen as a leader in the state's art education? She said, our work with any given child is reflective as well. The award ceremony is going to take place on May 17th in Columbus. Winners were chosen by the Governor's Award Selection Committee, made up of 6 members of the Ohio Arts Council Board and 3 members selected by the Ohio Citizens for the Arts Foundation. Wow, that's pretty
very cool.
That is very cool.
And I'll tell you about the ribbon cutting in Poland.
Okay, what's going on with it? We've been dying to know what's going on with the ribbon cutting.
What's going on? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
What's going on?
The Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber will have a ribbon cutting ceremony for Youngstown Spine and Disc Incorporated at 7067 Tiffany Boulevard, Suite 280 at noon Wednesday, tomorrow. Youngstown Spine and Disc offers an array of conservative treatments for back and joint problems, including spinal decompression, chiropractic, physiotherapy, nutritional counseling, physical rehab, exercise programs, and sport medicine. Dr. Robert Rossetti, founder and president of Youngstown Spine and Disc, has been practicing locally since 1988 and received postgraduate certification in disc compression. Visit youngstownspineanddisc.com for more information.
Wow. From Warren, burglars struck at 2 homes while victims were in the hospital, police said. Neil Poling, 59, discovered that on Friday his apartment in the 2300 Plaza Avenue Northeast had been broken into. Poling said that he had been in the hospital for roughly 7 weeks. His television, his DVD player, and a laptop computer were missing, the police said. The mother of Timothy Pala on North Park Avenue reported Saturday evening that her son's apartment had been broken into while he was in the hospital. A 9mm pistol and a semi-automatic rifle were missing from that apartment. Wow.
Everybody's got guns, man.
Yeah. Got some? Go for it.
Well, I was going to tell you about the YNDC offers Airbnb rentals. For nearly a year, the Youngstown Neighborhood Development Corporation has been offering short-term rentals through Airbnb. Airbnb allows property owners to rent rooms, apartments, or houses to people on a short-term basis on its website, airbnb.com. It is frequently used as an alternative to hotels. So that's kind of neat.
You've never done Airbnb, or have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, but not in Youngstown.
You know Larry, who you met. He rents his house as an Airbnb. Yeah,
I've heard of it, like
like at the beach
like
or like at the mountains.
I did not
No,
know that.
it's all over the place because people will use Airbnb like if like say people in Columbus would rent their houses out for Ohio State games.
That's smart.
Or things like that. So there's a lot more than just the beach or the mountains.
I see this. Well, as I am reading the article, I'm learning. Ian Beniston, executive director of YNDC, said the top floor unit in a 3-family dwelling the organization owns at 928 Canfield Road was so small, they started looking into models for it outside of traditional rentals. We thought maybe this would be useful not only for us, but for the neighborhood, Beniston said. YNDC decided to offer it as a furnished room for short-term stays. The unit did well, so it also began to rent out half of a duplex at 866 Canfield Road that is occasionally used to house AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps teams. Instead of letting that unit sit empty, we're able to rent it short-term on Airbnb, Beniston said. Beniston said the guests range from people in town on business to people visiting family to people enjoying Mill Creek Metro Parks. The duplex at 866 Canfield Road is a block from Lanterman's Mill. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, that is nice.
It's not far from my house. Though the units
you could have an Airbnb.
I don't have enough room. I need to build a shed.
That's attractive.
Occupied, Beniston said they are booked more days than not. Interesting. The 3rd floor unit at 928 Canfield Road costs $85 per night, and the duplex, which has 2 bedrooms, is $100 per night. Beniston said they offer discounts for longer stays. The reviews of the units on Airbnb are overwhelmingly positive. Positive story. All right.
Positive story.
Yeah.
Positive story.
It only took us an hour.
Seriously. Now, I know, like Larry, he does
That's
it.
Cool.
And like he said, like sometimes, like he had like because we're centrally located. I think it was like a bridal party one time, or a bunch of girls that got together because you get to use the kitchen, and it's like having a house.
Well, yes, well, Missy, she's got that guest room. She could be making some extra income.
She could.
Fundraising for Buckeye Breakaway.
For Buckeye Breakaway.
Yeah, sleep at Missy's house.
Seriously. Missy, who lives at 123 Main Street.
For a good time, call.
I think we're totally taking Facebook Live and taking it in a whole new direction. And radio reading, too.
Oh, my gosh.
For a good time. Funny. Oh, my gosh. That was pre-time. You don't say that stuff now. She's respectable.
Oh, yeah, but we still have a good time.
I know.
I mean...
I know I've been with you when you've almost gotten kicked out of some respectable places.
Almost, but not quite.
Almost, but not quite, exactly. All right, from Warren, 2 bar employees were robbed at gunpoint about 2 a.m. on Monday outside of business at 1704 West Market Street, according to a police report. Louis Miser and Pamela Anthony were closing the bar when a man wearing all black clothing and a white face mask pointed a handgun at Miser. The report states the robber took Miser's wallet and Anthony's purse, then ran toward Iowa Street. Miser and Anthony locked themselves in the bar until the police arrived. The report states. Also from Warren, police responded to reports of gunfire in the area of North and South Federal Drive at about 7:18 p.m. on Friday. Bystanders told arriving officers that the shooter ran toward Hazelwood Avenue. In a parking lot near 2081 South Federal Drive, police found a three .380 caliber shell castings. One shot reportedly hit the door of a car, the report says. You ever shoot a gun?
Like a rifle and a shotgun.
Yeah,
like
that's what you shot? Yeah.
Yes, I've never actually shot a handgun. I would like to.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that I would actually be able to use a gun in the event that I would need to. Like,
I agree.
I almost had to perform CPR for the first time. Like, a guy turned blue and was having a seizure, and I was like,
wow.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do this.
This is since our CPR certification?
This is right before our CPR certification,
wow.
where I still thought I would actually put my mouth on somebody. So he's turning blue, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do it. Then I'm like, I don't know if I could actually put my mouth on this guy. And I realized at that moment that the healthcare field is not for me, Scott.
Wow, yeah.
Not at all.
No, I totally agree with that.
However, thankfully, his color returned. The paramedics
got there in
time.
Wow.
I did not have to. It was really scary. And I give major credit. Like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. I've shot a gun a couple times, like in a shooting range recently in the last few years.
Like a handgun?
A handgun, yeah. And it was very cool. I really liked it. It was a great experience. I wanted to try it. I had a friend who knew about guns and was able to show me. And I brought my brother up and his girlfriend. We had a great time. Like, it was cool. But I've done it twice. I'm not really dying to do it again.
Yeah. I don't get these people, like, with guns in their cup holders and stuff.
Right. I don't get it either. I mean, I get it. We have the right to do it. But it's just not my thing.
Isn't that crazy? You have the constitutional right to have a gun, but your driver's license isn't a constitutional right. It's
yeah, seriously. Well, you still have to get a license to shoot a gun, though, sort of, don't you? I think there's rules to it.
Yeah. But it's not in the Constitution that you can drive.
Did you? No, it isn't. Did you? I heard that there was a couple somewhere, and I guess over the weekend, you know how you do those announcements like it's a boy or a girl?
Yes.
Well, they decided they wanted to film the thing, and they bought some sort of marker that you shoot out, and you shoot it, and it explodes.
Oh.
And it exploded blue. I think it was blue, and showing it was, and then it said we had a boy. Well, I guess it's illegal because they blow up, and then people heard like bang, and it's a boy, and called the police because they thought maybe they shot a boy.
Oh no!
And then they found out it was illegal to shoot that kind of thing. So they're gonna face a fine and all this stuff, and you know they were just trying to do something fun, which I get. I mean, they didn't really know, and I have a feeling they're not going to get smacked down too badly. But yeah, it was kind of
I'm just gonna put it out there and say that firearms and birth announcements probably don't go hand in hand.
But if you're like Duck Dynasty, it does.
That's true. I will say that I did not know that it is a tradition to, like, on New Year's go out and, like, shoot guns if you have them or whatever. And before I used to go out of town for New Year's, I had a New Year's party at my house, and I had a couple people over, and we went outside, and we had bullets in our windshields.
No.
Because I live on the west side, like by Lake Glacier, and they must have came from, like, across the lake.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? But I didn't know that was, like, a tradition.
I mean, I know we used to bang pots and pans when we were kids.
We do fireworks.
You know, like, see, we
like
would
sparklers.
We would bang pots and pans. Like my mom would give us a ladle and like the pan go boom, boom, boom. Like we did, which I told other people and they looked at me like I was like a dork, you know. And I'm like, no, we used to do that.
Everybody has like their own traditions.
Yeah, but
going out and shooting is not mine. So.
Yeah, you know, I will tell you, this was the first year in probably 5 that I was awake on New Year's Eve. I've been like
I go to bed way before midnight too, but I definitely stay up for New Year's. Like my son's usually like partying harder than myself, but
yeah, like this was the first, and it was because it was the Buckeye and I was out, but like the 5 years before, I was like I just kind of gave it up.
Football's been so disappointing lately.
Oh, yeah, I know. It was.
Yeah.
All right. Real quickly before we go into break, from Dublin, Ohio, a tractor-trailer crashed and burst into flames on the highway in central Ohio, killing at least one person. Dublin Police Lieutenant Steve Farmer said authorities believe the driver is the only person killed in the crash Monday morning in a Columbus suburb. Police said the truck carrying gasoline caught fire after the driver hit a guardrail at the exit of the US 33 bridge to Interstate 270. Burning gasoline then spread down the ramp. Parts of both roads were closed for a time on Monday, which in Columbus would probably be a nightmare.
Oh, man.
Authorities said it wasn't immediately known how much gasoline the truck was carrying at the time, but Farmer said that the truck could hold up to 8,000 gallons.
Wow. There's a food and clothing drive going on in Youngstown at the Alpha and Omega First Baptist Church. 3120 Winton Avenue will have a lunch bag of groceries and clothing giveaway from 11 a.m. to noon today. Recipients must bring photo identification.
Wow. A 30-year-old man was found dead of a suspected drug overdose about 11 a.m. on Sunday on Hamilton Street Southwest. I read that already. Ouch.
I got a woman that was arraigned with a long arrest record on Monday of a felony robbery charge. She was accused of hitting a man in the head with a club several times after inviting him to her home early January 1st. Wow. Michelle Enderton, 44, of Blair Street Northwest, remains in Trumbull County Jail in lieu of $5,000 bond. She has been booked there 75 times.
75?
I'm going to repeat that again. She has been booked there 75 times since 1995. Many of the charges were related to theft and drugs. She was arrested on a warrant Saturday. The victim, 57, of Cortland, said he gave Enderton a ride from Big Mike's Bar on North Park Avenue.
Big Mike's Bar.
Big Mike's Bar on North Park Avenue.
I got to find that place.
To Enderton's home.
Big Mike's Bar.
Here's a shocker. The man said he and Enderton were drinking, and Enderton went to the bedroom and then came out with the club, police said. Enderton and a male in the home took his wallet and a phone, report said. He drove to a bar and called the police. He had lacerations on his head and was taken by ambulance to St. Joseph Warm Hospital for treatment. Do you think it was an actual, caveman club or a baseball bat?
Oh, I don't know. Or maybe just even like a stick, like a nightstick or something.
Like an asp.
An asp?
That's what the police have, that stick that's metal that it.
Oh, really? Oh.
Like the lightsaber that kids have, except metal and not messing around. Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, the music is playing. That means Mr. Muter is telling us that we are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do Death Notices and Obituaries. We're going to talk a little sports. Mike's going to tell us how sad the Steelers were and, all that stuff and how depressed he is. But we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to do, years ago, we'll do horoscopes, so we got a lot. We're going to say goodbye to our friends on Facebook.
Bye,
yes,
bye.
for hanging out with us for this hour. And we will see you, the radio reading listener, on the flip side.
Yep. High five.
High five.
Woo!